So okay, let me introduce the first guest to our show this morning. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Erik T.Jackson. He's the father of four and an author of a semi-autobiographical book, The Diary of Destiny Fontaine. Former music executive, he has worked with artists such as SPM, Baby Bash, Lucky Luciano, Kiati, Lil Kiki, Big Pokey, Big Hawk, Juan Gotti, Rashid, and more. He is currently a teacher who works with promising youth and has coached football at the college semi-pro level, and also coaches in high school currently, and coaches basketball as well. Lives with his girlfriend and has two cats, Blue and Fenty. So, welcome to the show, my brother Erik Jackson.
How you doing, my brother?
Doing good. So I wanted to have you on because when I read your book a while back, and I saw a lot of cultural aspects in it that I thought would be valuable, especially this time around Black history. And I just wanted to bring you on to see what kind of inspired you to go this route. So on the book cover, it's a different face. You use different faces on each cover.
That's right. I have multiple covers.
Wait a minute. Are you talking to them? Are you talking? Go ahead and talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
So you have multiple covers. So one cover would be a white girl, another cover would be a black girl, another cover would be Asian girl. Why did you decide to go that route?
Well, when I was doing research, I found that certain nationalities like certain covers, and so I just did it like that to so that each nationality could see themselves in this book before they even read it.
Right. So what inspired the events that took place in the book? So it's a story. It's about a young lady, a young girl, who is a preacher's kid.
Yes, sir.
Everything's rolled out for her. Everything seems to be going perfect. Then tragedy strikes. So why? What inspired you to go this route? Kind of share with us.
So a lot of what's in the book has happened to me or has happened to people that I know. So I feel like all of these, there are lessons in them. And if you remember, in every chapter, at the beginning of every chapter of the book, there's a lesson that I give and that I want people to take away from that chapter. So when I was coming up with the book, I wanted to, give people something that they can take away, from the problems that they may have, like some of the same things that I went through and people that I know went through. I wanted to sort of give people something that they could see and they could say, okay, I'm not the only one going through this, and I can deal with it in this type of way.
So I'm listening to you, and it sounds very interesting. And you're saying going through what?
So the book hits on a lot of different things. It hits on mental illness. It hits on bullying.
You got that in the church? No.
I got her foundation is the church. And,
Okay.
and so was mine.
Okay.
So she always comes back to her foundation. Her in the book, her dad's a preacher. My dad was not a preacher. He was an anti-preacher.
Wait a minute. Okay. Wait. But what do you mean by anti-preacher?
He didn't start going to church until we were in college.
Now see, that's interesting. So now I want to know what made him wait that long.
He wouldn't talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah, he was that type of guy. He didn't talk about his feelings and why he did that, because we all wondered that same thing. And so we were just happy that he was going to church, and my mom was just happy that he was going to church. He was old school, so they went in different cars. He wasn't gonna stay all day like my mama. So but I wanted the foundation for her to be the church, because that was my foundation, but I felt like it would hit better if her dad was the preacher. So Destiny Fontaine's dad is an actual preacher. He's Pentecostal, I'm Baptist,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I had to do some research on that, and so, you know, having her grow up in a Pentecostal household, you know, it created a lot of anxiety for her.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so, the things that she goes through, we all go through because of anxiety.
Right.
You know, and so, but it's a book where, you know, if you don't know what's gonna happen, you know, like the end is gonna be positive because I'm always a positive guy. But throughout the book, the process of writing the book, each chapter is its own story. It's like a short story. So each chapter has a beginning, middle, and an end,
Mhm.
and that's not the case with most books.
Mhm.
But I felt like I wanted people to be able to come away with something in each chapter, as opposed to waiting to the next chapter, waiting to 3 chapters down the road.
Mhm.
Yeah, that type of thing. So that's why I did that, and the feedback I got, you know, a lot of people got that, and you know, that's what I was hoping. And I started it with my mom. She's since passed now. The book came out like a month after she passed.
Oh.
Yeah, so I dedicated it to her. But you know, it's, you know, I wish she did read the manuscript.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You know,
Did she approve?
yes.
Yes.
Approved. She's been my inspiration this entire time. She was a poet, and so I started out as a poet and as a songwriter. I wrote songs, and I was in the music industry with all those wonderful guys, and so I'm just so interested in creating dope, interesting stories, and I think each chapter in here in this book, The Diary of Fontaine, is its own dope story. You know.
So what? I was gonna say, man. So you said your mom was a poet. So the importance of us as Black people, to be honest with you, passing down those skills and those talents. How important was that in your development as an educator and also as a writer?
I think it was extremely important. You know, so I started out as a math. I ain't gonna say genius, but I was very smart in math. And generally, when you have a math brain, you don't really have a writing brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because my mom was a poet and pushed that on me, that sort of helped me develop my writing brain. You know, and you know, I want all people to understand that you know, that there is stories in everybody, and you know, you don't have to start out as an author. You know what I'm saying? You can start out, you know, as a spoken word person. You know, you can start out as a lyricist. You know, and you know, and then when the time is right, when the time comes, you know, when you have something to say, you know, you can become an author, or you can, you know, do a lot of really good things.
So the real reason why I wanted to have one, because I've seen him inspire young people with my own eyes. It wasn't even really about the book. I just wanted him to share what inspired him, his inspiration, like where did he get it from? Because people coming from our backgrounds don't usually get here to the point of writing a book, or even having the courage to. So I'm sorry.
You gotta raise your hand in here to talk. I'm playing.
I can't even see. You got the screen right.
You
I
know
can't
y'all
even
got
see.
me in here playing all day, right? So, what made you decide to want to do this book? Because this book looks very interesting, and listening to you talk about it is very. Is it about? It's about you. What made you? Because when you write to me, I don't know. What made you want to write that?
So, again, I was a songwriter. So I was writing lyrics and really nice songs. And so, writing a book is a lot longer than a song.
So, million songs.
So it was very daunting.
Was it therapeutic for you?
Absolutely.
That's what I was.
I can remember the very first short story. I was writing a short story, and it's cats and dogs in here, and that was so therapeutic that you know, I decided to write another one, and I wrote Karma, and that was therapeutic, and I decided to write another one, and I think the third one I wrote, I can't remember the third one, but the first three I wrote were the longest chapters because they were the most therapeutic ones, and then once I had three, my mom said, "You might as well write a book, man. You might as well finish this thing."
Right.
And so, you know, that's what I did, and I geared it towards middle schools, high schools. That's, you know, I really wanted young people to gain from the book, you know, and so that's the reason that, you know, I've sort of continued, you know, pushing forward and write. It took about 3 years to write, like, you know, 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years to write maybe 5 chapters and 6 months to write the rest. Yeah. And once I dedicated myself, carved out a little time, 6 months later I was finished.
And I'm gonna ask you something else. Upon completion of this, did you feel like a renewed sense of cleansing?
When I finished it, I felt like I had gotten everything out that I wanted to get out. You know, it really was me just being therapeutic, just putting stuff on paper, because most of this, I tell you, is stuff from my life, from my past, you know. And so once I finished it, I didn't think I could do another one. I was spent, like totally spent, and but that's when, you know, the real work started.
Yeah. Just got a text for the title of the book.
The Diary of Destiny Fontaine.
Thank you.
So so as we close up, what would you say to the young people who, you know, may not know what their gifts and talents are, and they're still trying to search and look, and where would you tell them to start?
I would say, as I tell my children and the children where I work, I would say, first of all, find out, just look inside yourself and find out what you're good at, what you're great at, you know, and start there. You know, passions and you know, gifts develop over time, and so you're not always gonna have this gift early in life, right? But I would say start with what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing, and just continue to do it, and do it every day, you know.
Brother, that's deep. So can you give our listening audience your social media handle?
Yeah, so I am Erik _Taylor_Jackson on Instagram, Erik T.Jackson TV on YouTube, and Erik K. Jackson and Erik T. Jackson on Twitter. You know, I'm on all social media. I'm Erik T. Jackson on Facebook.
Sound like my brother had 2 Twitters.
I do, but I only use one. I don't even know why I mentioned the same.
Well, my brother, you know, you inspire me. You inspire a lot of people that we mutually know. And yeah, right, the Garrett specials. and thank you for coming on, sharing your story with us, sharing your inspiration with us. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to great things, brother.
Thank you, and continued success.
Thank you, guys.
And when you finish resting, come out with another.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I get it.
Wonderful show.
Get it.
Enjoyed you guys.
So we're gonna keep rolling. And I think.